we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Olivia Wilde gets served custody papers on stage at an event for her new movie. Did her ex, Jason Sudeikis, do it in public on purpose? Comedian Jon Lovitz joins our panel in the DBL studio. What does he think about today's cancel culture? Kelly Rowland will be here live. She's sharing how she reunited with her estranged father after 30 years. And Kelsey Grammer gives us an update on the long-awaited Frasier reboot.
I thought, you know what, there's still another story to tell for him because Frasier's an interesting guy.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. We have a star-packed show today. We've got Kelly Rowland.
Yes, we are
got
here.
We got Al Jackson.
Oh, look at that.
We got Jon Lovitz and we got Kelsey Grammer. So make sure that you stay tuned for all of that. There's a new twist in the Olivia Wilde and Jason Sudeikis custody drama. So Olivia was served legal documents while she was on stage in front of thousands of industry execs at CinemaCon in Vegas. Well, she was given a manila envelope that said personal and confidential. Inside were custody documents from her ex, Jason Sudeikis. Olivia was there to promote her new film, Don't Worry Darling, which he directed. It also stars her boyfriend, Harry Styles. Now, according to Variety, Jason claimed he had no knowledge of the time or the place that the envelope would be delivered and would never condone her being served in such an inappropriate manner. Do you guys buy it? A lot of our viewers don't buy it. They believe that he was in on it, maybe bad blood with the whole Harry Styles thing.
Did either one of you hear Don't Worry Darling by Jeff Schroeder playing Jason Sudeikis playing Ted Lasso? No. That was, can we hear it real quick?
Don't worry, darling. Good. I was off the cuff. Yeah. But I was thinking the same thing. Ted Lasso would never do something like this. But Jason Sudeikis? Maybe.
I don't think so. I think you guys, we're just like neglecting just self-preservation. I mean, honestly, when she was served, think about how many people disliked that just in the audience, saying that was a rude thing to do for just a career move. I don't think this is what he did, and I think just the way process servers work, I think they're just trying to serve somebody so they can move to the next person. And when it's somebody famous like Olivia Wilde, when are you going to have access to her, Erica? You can't get back to the green room. You're not going to be sitting in her car service.
So how did she get how did this process server, Erica, get credentials? Because you cannot break and enter, you cannot use threats or harassment, you cannot pretend to be a law enforcement officer, you can stake out a person, but you cannot enter an arena without those proper credentials.
Now, according to the process server community, apparently it is very common for the person who is trying to serve the person to work in cahoots. So I think that it was very much done on purpose. Now, I've never been served, but I have been repoed. And I'm going to tell you right now, when she came up to me and I was hosting a charity event, when charity should have started at home, there was a lot of information that she had on me, and she didn't get it out of thin air, so she knew exactly where I was. Yes, I believe that it was in cahoots.
Can I just say, I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah.
The jerk in me kind of likes it. Here's why.
Explain.
There was a little bit of an overlap from when they broke up and she started directing that movie. So obviously something went down with the very cute Harry Styles, 10 years younger Harry Styles. I'd feel some sort of way if Jordan left me for Bieber. You know what I mean?
So if I gotta really be in your feelings.
Actually, I would probably like it. But I would, a little zinger in public, you know what I mean? Here's your movie that you broke up with me for. This amicable stuff, I'm not buying it.
If it was exactly the way Jeff paints it, I'm with Jeff. If Mark cheated on me with some young thing, it would feel really good to embarrass him. I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. Now, would I regret it later? Yes, because that is the father of my kids. But I do know that there's a sense of resentment, and sometimes that does come out to revenge.
Would you want to mess with the father of your kids' money?
No.
Because that's what you're doing.
No.
If you embarrass her in front of her colleagues, that's the industry.
No. It's not like you're dumping pig's blood on her like Carrie.
She's getting served at court papers.
You're embarrassing her a little bit.
Yeah. You said it was a zinger. That's beyond a zinger in front of.
You're not slapping her in front of everybody.
I'm not talking about physical, but I'm talking about your career.
First and foremost, I just want to say we don't know if there's any cheating involved. That's just alleged.
There was some overlap.
There's some overlap. Believe there's overlap, but that's all I can say. Also, two other really weird places where people got served. One was at a funeral. Yeah, it was this individual's mom's funeral. Another one, I guess you can serve when you cross state lines if you're on an airplane. So if you're ever on an airplane and someone comes over to you when you cross state lines with a manila envelope, you've been served.
There's another one. It's playing out on Real Housewives of Orange County this season.
Oh.
Noella got served as a bouquet of flowers delivery.
That one.
I don't like the theater. I want the pageantry. Just serve me.
Yeah.
All right. Please chime in, though, DBL Nation. We always love hearing from you as well. So we do have an update to the Santa Fe County Sheriff releasing all that footage from the Rust movie. The family of Helena Hutchins is outraged over the release of the body cam videos, some of which show her dying on set after being shot by Alec Baldwin. Her widower, Matthew Hutchins' lawyers sent a scathing email to the sheriff. They claimed he trampled on their dignity and privacy by releasing that video. They also claimed he promised to let them review any footage before it was released, but did not follow through. They're worried the footage could harm their 9-year-old son, as it could be used by bullies to emotionally abuse him in the future. What are you feeling now?
I just, They said it was up to the discretion of the sheriff's office to release this footage. And I thought a lot about when Tiger Woods had that accident that he almost lost his life, the last single car accident he had, and how close-lipped the sheriff's department was in protecting his rights. First of all, it was an accident. We didn't know what happened. And they were like, y'all don't need to know. We'll figure it out, and then we'll let you know. The fact that it seems like this one is doing the opposite, it makes me question, Jeff, do you need to be super famous for your family to have dignity and some grace in burying a loved one that was taken maybe 50 years earlier? Or do you need to win a couple Masters before they give you your family's dignity? I don't understand what this sheriff was thinking, Jeff. Please illuminate. I don't
either, man.
Make me feel better.
And I don't mind the video being released of Alec Baldwin getting the news and seeing his reaction. I think that's fine, right? But to show somebody pass away in the manner that she did and kind of give that to the internet trolls, right? It's all over, and then they mentioned that they don't want this coming back later. Imagine, she has kids. You know what I mean? Like, it was irresponsible.
Every time you use a computer, you know your mom's death is on there.
Yeah, and I don't understand how you feel. Like, you just make that decision, like, this is cool. I don't think anyone will have a problem with that. Like, I don't understand the rationale of people sometimes.
I think Al's question goes a step further because this is a high-profile case, and it does, it has a lot of attention on it. So was that a part of the reason why they would go ahead and release the footage and not get the family's input at all?
But they said they would, though. And
I know they said they would, but I'm saying,
he found out, by the way, from Radar Online.
Right.
He saw it. Those moments that nobody wants to see and then probably repeat in their mind, I'm sure creating some sort of PTSD. He saw it on Radar Online. Shame on them.
We'll do nothing to stop for content. You know what I mean? It's just content. That's all people are worried about.
Yeah, exactly. Where's the humanity? Coming up on DBL, the release of a former Marine detained in Russia is bringing up concerns over the detainment of WNBA star Brittany Griner. Could she be released soon, too? Plus, Kelly Rowland will be here live. What did Jay-Z have to do with her reconnecting with her father after 30 years? And John Lovitz joins our panel in the studio. You won't want to miss what he has to say about today's cancel culture.
Closed captioning provided by
Today on DBL, comedian John Lovitz joins our panel in the DBL studio. Plus, Kelly Rowland will be here live. That's today on DBL.
Okay, great. Whew. Okay, so yeah, the fact that I have the letter here from Matthew Hutchins' attorney to Sheriff Mendoza, and it is really horrific because what they do is they go under, first the lawyer talks about how they had these prior meetings between the widowed husband and the sheriff about if you have anything that you're going to put out there, please let me review it. If you have any footage you're going to put out there, they had an agreement according to this letter. And then this is something that shook me to the core, and I actually underlined it. It says here that the first time Mr. Hutchins saw the disturbing and unsettling video footage of his dying wife, this is their words, not mine, of his dying wife lying on the church floor was on Radar Online.
This story really
That's disgusting.
Like I didn't know I was gonna get this mad when I saw it on the rundown. Like I got so disgusted by this. But then I started thinking about I remember John Oliver had this segment like a couple of years ago about sheriffs and like how much power they have. And I've been thinking about like some of the stories that we've been talking about, whether it's the Tiger Woods. But do you remember like there was that that murderous spree that man went on in Atlanta, and he killed a lot of spy employees.
Yeah.
And the sheriff came on, and he was like, he was having a bad day.
I know.
You know, and I was like, what?
Can you imagine
when I saw it on television, I thought it was a sketch. I was like, is this you? But like these sheriffs have so much power. It seems unchecked. It seems like that's up to your discretion whether you're going to release somebody's mother's. Like that could possibly absolve somebody of criminal behavior. Like
if you thought about the child for 1/10 of a second, you would never release that video.
There's
Just
no
1/10
point.
I don't
of a second.
understand it.
The jury maybe, fine, but there's no
Oh
point.
yeah, the jury, for sure.
It does feel like there's nefarious reasons for
Money.
why, especially where it came from.
Radar online, hello. Reed is back on U.S. soil and is now home after being detained in Russia for nearly 3 years. He was released as part of a surprising prisoner exchange with Russia. Meantime, the State Department gave an update on Brittany Griner, who is currently being held by Russia. They say her case remains a quote-unquote top priority and that the administration will continue to work for her release. Erica, does this prisoner swap give you hope for Brittany or no?
I remain hopeful. I've remained hopeful from the beginning. And I know a lot of people, we talked about it on the show. A lot of people were asking me like why I'm not as vocal about it as I was before. And to be honest, it got very complicated and I didn't know if by speaking out I was a part of the problem or if I was helping and I just wanted to help. But the truth was there was a lot of directives coming up from the WNBA and some other places telling players and people in the organization to stay quiet about it because of the ramifications of her becoming possibly a political prisoner. So now that this information is coming out and there is movement, which means there's communication with Russia in this way, I remain very, very hopeful that that means that she'll be returned home.
I can't even imagine being one of those family members.
Yeah, I mean, and when you're dealing with a state like Russia that is completely unpredictable, obviously we really didn't think that they were actually going to invade Ukraine, and now that we see the brutality that they've unleashed, now I think we all step back and now we're just hoping. And I really do, Erica, I just have this thing that everything's going to be okay. I'm putting that in the universe, but it's scary. Like you always think that, oh, we can do something. Our government can send a guy over there and they'll take care of it. And it's not that easy.
Yeah, I think Erica said it beautifully. I didn't even think about that aspect of if you keep giving attention to her, she becomes some sort of commodity at some point, right? And they're like, we're going to use her, and it's not the best timing. You know what I mean? With everything going on with Ukraine and things like that. So in this case, I always say, like, you got to speak up for what you want. In this case, it's almost better not to and let the government deal with it. And this is, like you said, some hope that we got a prisoner exchange going on. Hopefully we could do something for her as well.
And just on a final note, that prisoner exchange, I'm being told, took a few months. So hopefully, everything is in the process with Brittany as well.
Yeah, this is not a movie. I'm glad you said that. It takes a while.
Yep. All right. Well, coming up on DBL, you guys, we do have Kelly Rowland here live. There she is. We can't wait to talk with her next.
Let's run through some fast facts on the COVID treatment Paxlovid with information from these sources: infectious diseases specialist Dr. William Schaffner, the CDC, and the FDA. First, what is Paxlovid? It's a pill taken twice a day for at least 5 days, and it was the first oral antiviral treatment for COVID-19 given emergency use authorization by the FDA. The agency says that it should be taken as soon as possible after testing positive and within 5 days of first symptoms. Next question, what does it do? Dr. Schaffner explains its goal is to slow the virus from spreading throughout your body.
Paxlovid is an antiviral medication. It interrupts the capacity of the virus to multiply. So after we're infected, if we can get in there quickly, we can prevent the virus from multiplying more, going throughout our body and making us seriously ill.
As for effectiveness, in a clinical trial, the drug reduced the risk of COVID hospitalization or death by 88%. Finally, who is Paxlovid for? The CDC and FDA say it's for mild to moderate cases of COVID in adults and kids over 12 who are, quote, at a high risk for progression to severe COVID-19, including hospitalization or death. Some examples Dr. Schaffner gave are people over 50, people with lung disease, heart disease, diabetes, or immunocompromised people. Now, Dr. Schaffner tells us that Paxlovid may become more widely used in the U.S. in the coming weeks as the U.S. government works to expand access. And listen to this. As of right now, it's totally free on the government's dime. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozloff.
Yes, she formed a sisterhood with Destiny's Child, and as a daughter, she's learned forgiveness. Now she's sharing the story, you guys, I literally was tearing up reading it, of working moms like herself with her new children's book, Always With You, Always With Me. Kelly Rowland joins us live.
Yes.
Hi. Welcome. I just want to really, I feel so seen and heard as a working mom with this book. It's phenomenal. Yes. You had me in tears. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
No problem. No problem. Shout out to all the busy, sacrificing, time-sacrificing working moms out there. I think we are superheroes.
Amen.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Me, myself, and my co-author, Jessica McKay, we just saw a space in the market for a book like this. And Toni Morrison said, if there's a book that you want to read, write it. And so we did. This is a ode to all the moms out there who I know experience the same emotions I do, but most books focus on the emotions of the kids. And I think the kids sometimes forget that we feel those same emotions too, of missing them.
Amen.
Well, Kelly, I feel like we've all followed you on your journey to becoming a mom, but shortly after you did, you reconnected with your father after 30 years. And you said that Jay-Z played a role in that. Can you tell us how that happened?
Well, I'd been, really wanting to reconnect with my dad. And the truth is that my husband had asked me about it, if I wanted to connect, and it had to be on my terms. But I also had to take this moment where I asked myself, if he said yes, and if he said no, I had to be okay with that. And so getting to that okay was really tough. And when I did, I was like, I'm going to meet him. And then I met him, and all these emotions came up. And next thing I knew, I was talking to my family about it, and they were just counseling me in the most beautiful, supportive way. And they were like, what are you going to do? It's love. You going to jump or not? So, yeah.
Wow.
So I heard that Jay-Z actually gave you some advice about that, and I wanted you to clarify that.
Yes, he said to jump. It's love. It's a risk that you take, period.
Beautiful. There is a rumor that's always come up and about, and it's always made me uncomfortable for you because people suspected that Matthew Knowles was your father because you grew up with Beyonce. And your father was not in the picture. I want you to put this to bed, please, so our viewers, other people can stop writing about it. Now's your opportunity.
I mean, it was put to bed. It was put to bed when I reconnected with my father. I think that I put it to bed several times. I think that, just being in the entertainment world, people will run with whatever, it is that is entertaining at that time for them. But I mean, since that time, I'm so grateful. Matthew has sent me a note and said how happy he was for me that I've reconnected with my dad. And, like I said, the rest of my family is. So it's really beautiful that I get this opportunity to share this time and this experience with them. You learn forgiveness in so many ways, and this was definitely a big one.
Absolutely. Well, obviously you are a star, but we are like the biggest star there is, for real. But we're getting to know you as a mom. And full disclosure, I wrote a children's book about my youngest son. He is on the spectrum, and I know that I wrote my book to feel closer to them. And I just really appreciate it, and wouldn't even look at your book that's next to me, next to Sam, because I was already starting to tear up during the break. Your children's book, Always With You, Always With Me, for parents like us here on this panel, we just miss our kids so much, and we really appreciate this. So can you talk to us about why, what were you feeling when you wrote this book?
Absolutely. Well, one, Jessica McKay, my co-author, like I said, we were sitting down talking. Our sons are the reason that we met, by the way. And she'd written like 4 or 5 children's books and didn't know what to do with them. I said, well, I've never written a children's book, but we can figure it out together. And so at that time, I was actually traveling back and forth from Australia to LA a lot because I was doing the voiceover there. Every time I would get in the car, it would be just big old alligator crocodile tears just streaming down my face, because it's this really incredible bonding time that you share with your kids, that when it's time to go, it's like, oh man, what, I'm having fun. You know what I mean? And they feel the same way.
Right.
And especially after COVID, think about how much time we spent with our kids, and we're going back to work, they're back in school. These are big feelings that they're dealing with, but we're dealing with as well. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful pictures, by the way, that we just showed. Yeah. Can you share how giving birth to your first son, you said he actually saved your life. What else were you dealing with during that time?
Well, the three weeks after I had my son, I lost my mom. Oh. So it was a really tough time. But because his name is Titan, because he looked at me with these big, beautiful eyes, because I knew that that moment was bigger than me, I actually he gave me strength. He really did. And I think that our kids are like the keys to the secrets of our future and telling us what we can do. Titan has made me stronger, smarter, because I actually want him to think better and bigger and bolder than me. You know, so I always think about the fact that they hold the keys to your future in this really incredible way.
That's beautiful.
How often do people just start tearing up when they talk to you?
Like not
all of us on the panel for one reason or another.
I'm like, I want to promote someone.
Yes, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was just your...
Dude, that was really beautiful. Yeah. I was thinking about my kids, and I was like,
I was thinking about
Kelly?
my mom. I'm like, oh my gosh.
But it's true. But it's true. Think about it. Like, there were things that I would be afraid of, but I look into their eyes and I'm like, gosh, I'm so happy I had you, because I don't know if I could do it if you weren't here. Because it could be a dream, like something that you see. And someone says, you know, if your dreams don't scare you, like, you're not dreaming big enough. I'm dreaming so crazy right now. And I literally have to see it through, because I think about how I want them to execute it and trust themselves. And I'm like, I got to practice what I preach.
Yep.
So,
you're modeling that behavior for them, and you're doing it so well. Thank you so much, Kelly, for joining us. DBL Nation, you got to pick up this book.
Thank y'all for having me.
What a breath of fresh air. You're such a big star and so down to earth. I watch on other shows, our show, you're amazing.
Thank you, Kelly. And for all of you out there, you need to get this book. It's called Always With You, Always With Me.
Right.
Get it today. We'll be right back.
Get yourself a good
Kelly.
cry.
Yeah.
Somebody get a tissue. What is going on?
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
In 1981, John Hinckley Jr. attempted to assassinate President Ronald Reagan, shooting him and 3 other people. A jury found Hinckley not guilty of attempted murder by reason of insanity. He was then held in a psychiatric facility until 2016. Now, some viral social media posts and headlines say he's going to perform a concert in New York this summer, and that it's already sold out. So is that true? Let's verify. Is Ronald Reagan's shooter performing a sold-out concert in New York this year? To find out, we went to these sources. The most recent court order in Hinckley's case, social media posts from a New York venue and a New York promoting company, and the ticket-selling websites Venue Pilot and TicketWeb. Hinckley was released from St. Elizabeth's Hospital in D.C. in 2016. The release order came with a list of strict conditions that have been gradually lifted over the last several years. For example, in 2020, Hinckley was given permission to release music and art under his own name, something he had wanted to do for years. And then, last September, a judge issued an order to lift all remaining restrictions on Hinckley, saying his mental state was stable and he no longer posed a threat. That unconditional release order goes into effect on June 15, 2022. A few weeks ago, New York promotions company Scenic Presents announced on Twitter that on July 8th, Hinckley will be performing his music at the Market Hotel venue in Brooklyn. The post includes a link to a ticket website frequently used by that venue. Clicking on the link informs you the show has already sold out. The venue has also posted about Hinckley's concert on Twitter, often in response to critics questioning its decision to host him. One post reads, "It was a booking decision because it's an intriguing event that forces the very discussion about justice and mental health we're having. Hinckley playing acoustic guitar on a stage does actual harm to no one." A search of another ticket site used by the promotions company also shows the concert with the same details and also lists it as sold out. So we can verify, yes, John Hinckley Jr., Ronald Reagan shooter, is performing a sold-out concert in New York this year. The venue and the promotions company didn't respond to our requests for comment. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
A new report from the American Lung Association says despite decades of progress in making our air cleaner, more than 137 million people live in places with failing grades for unhealthy levels of pollution. That's 2 million more people breathing unhealthy air compared to last year. When it comes to living with poor air quality, not everyone is treated equally. Researchers found people of color are 3 times more likely than white people to live in a county with high air pollution. But there's actually some encouraging news here in Hampton Roads. When it comes to high ozone pollution, which can inflame your airways and cause coughing and sore throats, Norfolk and Virginia Beach were rated as some of the cleanest cities. Our area also got top marks for short-term particle pollution, which can cause a whole host of health problems from decreased lung function to heart attacks. While our area came away with a relatively clean bill of health, it's still clear there's a lot of work left to be done to make sure everyone can enjoy the same fresh air.
Tomorrow on DBL, Danny DeVito. He's sharing behind-the-scenes stories from his time on Taxi.
The Taxi cast would put together an incredible, I'm talking about off-the-charts party.
Plus, Garcelle Beauvais from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills will be here live. She's telling us about her new book that spills the tea on the men she's dated in Hollywood. Which A-list actor did she turn down? That's tomorrow on DBL.
Ooh, I can't wait. Okay, so we have to give a big DBL birthday shout out to Charlene, who watches us. There she is, a viewer, USA 9 in Alexandria, Virginia. Happy 67th birthday, Charlene. We want to thank you for being such a dedicated part of our DBL Nation. In fact, we got you a little prize pack swag bag, little autograph picture.
Yeah, and maybe we need to figure out a way to get like a bottle of wine in there too.
What if she's sober like you?
Then I'll take it away. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, then we'll take care of that.
Yeah, it won't be a problem.
Well, happy birthday, Charlene. If you guys are leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. Our interview with Kelsey Grammer. He's giving us an update on the long-awaited Frasier reboot. And don't go away, because John Lovitz joins our panel in the studio next. How does he do as our 5th host, huh?
About Lucky Charms cereal soared on the website iwaspoisoned.com. The site posted on Twitter that 4,500 people reported nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and fatigue within a few hours after eating a bowl of Lucky Charms. That compares to about 35 reports involving Cheerios in the same time frame. iwaspoisoned.com is not an official database, though. It's a platform where anyone can share an unverified experience with a food or restaurant. Verify viewer Jessica asked us to look into what's going on. So, let's verify. Is the Food and Drug Administration investigating claims that Lucky Charms have caused people to get sick? Our sources are the FDA and General Mills, the makers of Lucky Charms. The FDA has its own reporting system called CARES, where people can report instances of suspected foodborne illness. The agency tells Verify it has received hundreds of reports about Lucky Charms this year and is looking into them. General Mills did not respond to our messages seeking comment, but told the Associated Press that it is aware of the complaints, and an internal investigation found no evidence of consumer illness linked to Lucky Charms. So, yes, the FDA is investigating claims that Lucky Charms caused people to get sick. So far, Lucky Charms is not on the FDA's list of recalled products. Both FDA and General Mills say they encourage customers to report any concerns. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all just
It's
stop.
finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Did you notice we have a fifth host over here? Yeah, comedy legend in the studio, SNL alum and movie star John Lovitz.
Wow. Hey.
John, you may not remember me, but I have a very, don't worry, it's wholesome, a very wholesome story. So about 20 years ago, you were shooting a movie on Melrose Avenue. I was working at a closet store. I was watching, I just moved to LA. I was in college. I was like, oh my gosh, that's John Lovitz, that's a movie. You came into said closet store. I convinced you to go to lunch with me so I could pick your brain about the industry. We went to Jerry's Famous Deli. I had chocolate banana pancakes. You had a normal meal. Then you said, this is what you need to do. You got to work hard. You got to study. So what did you do? You took me to a bookstore and you told me which books to get on the industry, on acting, and the rest is history. I got to give you a hug.
Cool. Oh,
you stay right there. I'm giving you a hug because you literally were an early mentor in my career. And I just want to thank you. Do you remember me?
Beautiful.
You can say no. It's okay. I'm not that. I'm so glad I made an impression.
Could we by the end of the show get that clip
I
of
have to think back.
your famous acting when
remember
you?
what I was doing.
It was, I'm sure, an Adam
I like
Sandler
helping
movie.
people though, so
You sure did.
I'm glad. Oh, good.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Paul.
well, I was going to say it really paid off because she has a famous clip where she closes the door with her butt, and it's really.
We can show that later.
Thanks for the tips.
Yeah, some tips help. Exactly.
Be careful about throwing people under buses, Jeff. So, well, John, you're on tour right now. Can you tell us what your show, Comedy Works here in Denver, what's going on there?
Well, I have one show tonight, one Friday and two Saturday, and I've been doing stand-up now about 18 years, and it's just been really great. And I like doing it because you get to write and perform your own material, which I got to do on Saturday Night Live, and so it's very satisfying. And the thing about stand-up is it's endless. The stuff you can do and be creative, it's just endless. And I have to keep reminding myself that. Like Dana Carvey, from SNL helped me a lot. He's a great stand-up, and
he's such
maybe 5 or 7 years ago, I don't know what to do. I'm like, my act, I'm bored with it. He goes, well, you can change it. I went, oh yeah, right. You because you're so used to be giving a script and say this and direct it, and stand up, it's all you. You write it, perform it, direct it, you can change anything. And I forgot about that. It's just 100% freedom.
I love that. I love his chopper broccoli. Yeah?
Yeah.
Chopper broccoli. Okay. Okay, so we just heard that you just saw the re-release of A League of Their Own. Obviously, you play an iconic character. When you watched it, did you feel it held up? Did you feel proud again?
Yeah, I felt the same. It was Turner Classic Movies. They had a film festival in Los Angeles, and League of Their Own closed it. So some of the girls in the cast came, and Lori Petty was there, and Ann Ramsey, and Ann Cusack, and Miss Petty, and Megan Cavanaugh. It was great seeing them. And then we watched it. It was at Grauman's Chinese, and it was like, yeah, I felt the same when I first saw it at the premiere. The memories just came flooding back, and it's hard to believe it's been 30 years.
Oh my goodness.
And it's just, but the movie holds up, and it's great, and it's very emotional, And then I felt the same, but proud that I was in a movie that was about a real thing that happened, and that I think that's the only one I've done where it was about something that actually happened in real life, with women having their own league during World War II, and it was. Yeah, it was pretty amazing to see it again.
It's so cool. It really is. Okay, we always on the show talk about cancel culture. Jeff has a very strong opinion on it.
You're all cancel.
I was going to say, he's pro-cancel
culture. You once called it McCarthyism. Why do you think that cancel culture today has gone too far?
I did call it that because it is the same. It's like somebody accuses you of something and you're guilty and you can't even defend yourself, and then you lose your career. And that's what happened in the McCarthy era. With Joe McCarthy and the senator, and saying this one's a communist and this one. And at the time, there was a lot of actors and people in the movie industry, and they were in their 20s. They're young and starting, and someone said, hey, you want to go to this thing? There'll be a lot of girls there. And that's why the guys would go to meet, they didn't understand it. And clearly the senator was going after famous people to get publicity for himself.
Wow.
And finally, after 3 years, one senator said, Senator McCarthy, have you no shame? And it ended it, And it's the same thing. I mean, people you don't even know can say, you did this, and and you're dropped, you know. And a friend of mine, I won't say his name because it's going better for him, but he's a comedian, and these women accused him of stuff, and he lost his agent, his career, and everything. And he said, you know what? I go, did you know them? He goes, I was friends with them till the day the article came out. He goes, I go, they're friends of yours? He goes, yes. I go, so what are they doing? He goes, no. And one was his girlfriend for years. He's still friends. One was it was ridiculous. And so it's just, you know, it's like they said, your guilt, it used to be you're innocent till proven guilty, and it's the opposite.
Not in the court of public opinion.
No, and I think, you know, certain people do stuff that's against the law. Of course, they should go to jail and everything, but if you say something and offend someone, or whatever, you make a mistake, they go, I'm sorry, you forgive me, you go on. I don't think you should lose your career over it.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. And then even going back, when they go back like 20 years, 30 years, even like to your old SNL skits, right? Is there anything that you did on SNL? And by the way, that's the ticket, is wanting to jump out and throw that.
Today, I'm sure there is, but you know, what am I gonna, you know? So I should lose my career because 35 years ago I did a sketch that somebody wrote, and now today they go, I don't like that. I mean, that's absurd. I'm like, well, if you don't like it, change the channel, you know? I always say, don't go to a comedy club. If you don't have the ability to laugh at yourself, don't go. Because that's my job, is at every comedian, to make fun of everything.
Right.
Whatever they want, they find funny. Something happens in life. Like just recently, I read an article. There's a guy in Japan. It's kind of sad, and he married a hologram. It's like a 16-year-old girl.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's a hologram. Right. You'll do jokes. You're just standing. They said, yeah. You know, and then you go, what happened? He goes, you know, his housekeeper plugged in the vacuum cleaner and she pulled the plug on his relationship. Literally. I mean, it's ridiculous, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is where
they call it fictogender. You're in love with a fictitious character. You know, I've heard of tractor love. People in love with their tractor. That I get.
That's on TV.
But a hologram?
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird. You know, you were talking about stand-up, and I've done stand-up for years as well. And sometimes when you're improvising right in the moment, especially when you're talking about something very specific or even something very touchy, that moment can be isolated on a cell phone, and you lose context. And I've always said, like, comedy clubs should really be called context clubs, because if you're in the room, it makes sense. When you read it, you're like, oh my gosh, this person must have been offending people for 50 minutes. But it's not that. Everything needs to be taken in context, and that's why I feel like we're so vulnerable as stand-ups, because we can be taken out of context so easily. So this is kind of weird. Do you think that cancel culture has affected SNL and their writing? It has to have, right?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not there now, so I mean, but
what about your act?
Like when Obama became president, you know, and they wouldn't make fun of him at all.
Right.
Nothing. Now, granted, it was hard to find something to make fun of him because the guy was great looking and smooth and smart and articulate, and you go, he doesn't stumble. You go, what? It's hard to find something, you know.
Right.
And then I would talk about it with Dana, and then finally, Dana go, oh, he found an angle which was, and it really was making fun of him. Just the way he talks, it's like he gives a history lesson about everything.
Yeah.
So he kind of takes that and exaggerates it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But they wouldn't. And then, you know, with Biden, I don't know. You watch Joe Biden. I mean, they don't. I don't know. They don't really make fun of.
They don't.
Him stumbling.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. There's a lot of material there, and not. In
but you're supposed to satirize. It's whoever's president. It's comedy. You satirize it.
Right.
Whatever's going on in society, that's that show. It's satire.
And that's been the deal since the first George Bush.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Exactly. Okay.
Not gonna do it.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm being told. Great. Thank you, Jeff, for bringing up.
Well, I just wanted to show what his very special afternoon.
His special afternoon did not reflect this car. It reflected me sitting here 20 years ago. But here's the infamous car video that Jeff wanted to show.
John, here's what those books you got her paid off.
A sweet ride deserves TLC all the time. But you want to be driving,
I hate you.
not waxing, washing, and shining. Hi, I'm Sam Shocker.
Okay.
There you go, John.
Nothing to do with John.
That face,
Were
John,
you wearing that when I met you? That's probably why I took you to lunch.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, I'll help you.
But you are such a gentleman. I just wanted, speaking of cancel culture, people need to know that you are just an absolute, genuine, sincere, wholesome mentor. And I think a lot of people probably wouldn't buy that.
I kind of remember. I remember when you said I took you to a bookstore, and back somewhere in my brain I go,
do you remember?
Oh, kind of. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I believe you. It sounds like me.
I remember every detail from my banana pancakes. I believe
Did it help?
pastrami sandwich.
Obviously.
I'm sitting here right now. Yes, it helped. Thank you.
Did you see that commercial?
It's payback day.
John, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. You got to check out John's show. He's performing tonight at Comedy Works here in Denver, and he's got shows through Saturday too. So get your tickets at comedyworks.com. Thank you, John.
Thanks, John. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Coming up on DBL, iconic sitcom star Kelsey Grammer. What's in store for the Frasier reboot, huh?
Closed captioning provided by Tomorrow on DBL, Danny DeVito. He's sharing behind-the-scenes stories from his time on Taxi, plus Garcelle Beauvais from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That's tomorrow on DBL.
One picture. Oh. Everybody sit down.
Yeah, let him sit and we'll stand around him.
Okay, fine. Let's go. Let's do it.
He doesn't even remember the movie.
Oh, sorry. All right.
I remember the movie now. Something Dicky.
Want to get one picture of
Yes.
Oh. Here we go. Right here.
Yes.
Teenage something.
Yes. Childhood star. Yes.
Smile. Thank you.
Thank you.
She had to go to the
Dickie Roberts, childhood star? That was it. That was it. Yeah.
Hey, could you send me one of those?
And I even got to go watch. He said, come and watch. And I went and watched.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was amazing.
So you wanted to be in acting?
I wanted to just then I went into producing. I used to produce for Judge Judy. So I just wanted to be in the industry. You told me stories about Lisa Kudrow.
Thank you so much. How
you just told me to work hard and don't quit. And here I am 20 years later.
It worked, right?
Oh, yeah.
It did. You should feel really good.
Yeah.
You should. Yeah. Someone believed in me.
Are
Are we doing any more photos with John, or could he go?
We can, yeah. We're at the wall next. So.
Oh, that's a wrap for John Lovitz, everybody.
So cool, right?
Thank you,
So cool to have you here.
Thank you.
I'm glad you did well. That's great.
Thank you.
John, thanks for stopping by. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Man,
So
the whole
cool.
time you're sitting here, I just want to be like,
I
yeah,
know.
that's the ticket.
Yeah.
That's good. Amazing stuff.
He didn't remember me. Poor John.
The best was the end. He
kind of remembers. I can see the wheels turning in his head. He kind of remembers.
That's Sam's version. See, good thing I played that
I
hard.
had long hair when he met me. Long hair with black streaks. Think Christina Aguilera from. Do you want to get?
Hey guys, we don't have a rejoin coming up here.
Welcome back. Earlier, we chatted with Kelsey Grammer to get all the details about the Frasier reboot. Check it out.
Hi, Mr. Grammer.
Oh, wow, there you all are. Wonderful.
I was going to say a little jealous of your background there, brother.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in the Caribbean on an island called Nevis, and we're shooting a movie here.
Oh my God, my family's from Nevis.
Oh wow.
Oh, no kidding, really? Wow. Well, it's lovely.
Well, we're not all
Nevis
from Bahamania, all right?
I'm from Cleveland.
I'm from
Bahamania.
You are best known for playing my absolute favorite TV character of all time, Dr. Frasier Crane, in Cheers and, of course, Frasier. And I just wanted to know, were you nervous when you spun off to do the lead in your own series? Because it was a huge hit, but you didn't know that.
We haven't collaborated on anything together since we wrote the spring musicale in prep school.
Guess what, it was well received. It did get us out of gym class. But...
There's always an element of I guess anxiety about putting something in front of an audience. It's not art until you put it in front of somebody. So that moment was disconcerting on some level, but I knew that we had a good script. I knew we had a great cast. When the live audience stood up and cheered at the end of that show, David Hyde Pierce turned to me and said, "Kels, what does this mean?" And I said, "It means you're going to be able to buy a house." And then he said, "What does it mean for you?" It says, "It means I'll probably buy 2 houses."
Yeah. I'll
right. That's right. That's amazing.
It's all right, James. Did you win? Okay.
Yay, James! He can come on.
And hey, James.
We need to know what James is doing.
Let's say hi to James.
Hi, James.
The big star of the show.
Oh,
there you go.
Cutie.
Oh, what's up, cutie?
Hi, cutie.
James is the baby.
Oh, baby.
Aw.
He said, yeah, that's you. That's all those people are interested. So, okay, you can play. All right.
Well, I'm sure everyone's happy to know there's a reboot in the works. So what was it like for you to return to the character? And can you give us any details about when it's going to be released? Because we're all waiting on pins and needles.
I thought, you know what, there's still another story to tell for him because Fraser's an interesting guy.
So when is it coming out, though? Can you give us a date or a ballpark?
Well, I think we're aiming to shoot sometime in the beginning of the third quarter.
Excellent.
And then, however they'll plan release of the show is based on.
We need an exact date, sir.
Yeah, we won't move on.
You see how much drilling down.
On Paramount Plus, so, you know, I'm not going to be involved in when they release it.
Right.
But,
Tossed salad and scrambled eggs.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
We have to talk about Kelsey Grammer's historic battles for America.
Yes.
Can we remember the men who shaped the nation we became?
Now let's be 100. Every dad, I don't know what it is. We have kids. You get into history. That's just a thing that you get into war history. How did this happen to us, and when did it happen to you?
You know what? It was my granddad. Mm-hmm. My granddad was a World War II veteran, a colonel who served on Guadalcanal, and I had such reverence for him.
And why do you think that history is our most boring class in middle school and high school, where I feel like it's the most fascinating thing, the decisions that had to be made, how these little, just the weather affected, you know, the way the troops that were able to move, and that, you know, allowed them to, you know, refuel, and all these little things that happened that changed the course of history, and yet history class is a snooze fest. How is that?
Somewhere along the way, the people instructing us in history have allowed themselves to snooze.
As long as he's narrating, I'm going to be watching. All right, there you go, a Supreme Court nerd, so I like certain cases, and I wondered for you, if you had to pick a certain battle, which for you is the most important for America and why? I know this might be difficult, but if there was one that stood out to you.
There's Antietam is pretty decisive in terms of the fact that it's still the greatest loss of human life in American battle, and that was 22,000 plus in one day. And I've walked the battlefield at Gettysburg and sensed that there's that one trench where it was just hand to hand for hours, and it's just a nightmare to think about the blood that ran for weeks out of that place. Yeah. And that was our blood. That was our human blood.
Yeah. It's tough. I cannot tell you what it is like speaking with you. Thank you so much for chatting with us, Kelsey.
We need to do this again.
It's been on my vision board since I've been 10, and you can watch Kelsey Grammer's historic battles for America. It's streaming on Fox Nation. It should be fascinating and not a snooze fest. We'll be right back.
Enjoy
Thank you.
Sir.
I've never really been offered.
Let's run through some fast facts on the COVID treatment Paxlovid with information from these sources: infectious diseases specialist Dr. William Schaffner, the CDC, and the FDA.
First, what is Paxlovid? It's a pill taken twice a day for at least 5 days, and it was the first oral antiviral treatment for COVID-19 given emergency use authorization by the FDA. The agency says that it should be taken as soon as possible after testing positive and within 5 days of first symptoms. Next question, what does it do? Dr. Schaffner explains its goal is to slow the virus from spreading throughout your body.
Paxlovid is an antiviral medication. It interrupts the capacity of the virus to multiply. So after we're infected, if we can get in there quickly, we can prevent the virus from multiplying more, going throughout our body and making us seriously ill.
As for effectiveness, in a clinical trial, the drug reduced the risk of COVID hospitalization or death by 88%. Finally, who is Paxlovid for? The CDC and FDA say it's for mild to moderate cases of COVID in adults and kids over 12, who are, quote, at a high risk for progression to severe COVID-19, including hospitalization or death. Some examples Dr. Schaffner gave are people over 50, people with lung disease, heart disease, diabetes, or immunocompromised people.
Now, Dr. Schaffner tells us that Paxlovid may become more widely used in the U.S. in the coming weeks as the U.S. government works to expand access. And listen to this. As of right now, it's totally free on the government's dime. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozloff.
We have so many great deals just in time for Mother's Day. Take a look.
Steph, what do you have for us today?
Hi, Tori, and hey, DBL Nation. I have got some wonderful products and even better deals just for you, and I cannot wait to share them. So first up, we've got Born 3-piece night set with robe, tank top, and shorts. So this deal includes one pair of shorts, one tank, and one robe, which feels so soft. Available in 2 colors, pink, my favorite, or gray, in sizes small to extra large. So 3-piece sets are definitely underrated, Tori, and they make staying at home more comfortable. And let's be honest, even though we're all going out again now, it's pretty nice to be able to stay in.
Yes.
Normally it's $98, but right now, Tori, it's only $29.
Woo!
Saving everyone 70%, and trust me, this feels amazing.
And like you're the fashionista, loungewear's in, because I look awful and I want to upgrade my loungewear, so this is perfect.
This next item is truly necessary. We have got Part 2 True HEPA Air Purifier. So this deal includes one air purifier available in white or black, and I'm literally obsessed with this because you can breathe freely and remove 99.97% of contaminants from the air with this air purifier. And best bit, you can even add a few drops of your favorite essential oil to diffuse throughout your space.
Wow.
Incredible. Normally it's $70.
Okay.
Right now it's only $25, which saves everyone 64%.
This is so small that anyone with an apartment and dogs or cats, brilliant idea.
Now this one I am so excited about because we have got the Prime and Pure CZ Mom or Mama pendant necklace in 0.925 sterling silver.
Nice.
So this deal includes one beautiful necklace. Look at this.
That's so cute.
And I mean, if you're still searching for the perfect Mother's Day gift and you don't have much time, you don't need to worry because this necklace features cubic zirconia and comes in a gift box for easy and beautiful gifting. This is everything you need. So normally this necklace is $75.
Okay.
But we've got it. Are you ready for only $29, saving you 61%, and it's going to give you a very happy mummy.
Yeah, and also those pendant things, again, fashionista, they're in, like all those letters. So mama or mom, that'd be great.
And then last, but definitely not least, we've got Heidi and Oak quilted duffel bag.
That's cute.
It really is. So this deal includes one duffel bag, available in 2 colors. We've got black or red.
Nice.
And I mean, I get excited just looking at it because all I can see is vacations and weekend getaways that it's ready to take away with me. So inside, it's got a pocket for additional organization, and this spacious duffel will be your new favorite travel companion, and it comes with a shoulder strap, which is adjustable.
Oh, nice.
So you can remove it if you want to carry it by the handle.
Nice.
So normally, this is $149.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree, that's worth that.
Guess what? We've got it for $39, which saves everybody at home 74%.
Guys, I would go on a weekend vacation just to take the duffel bag.
I know, it's so, and look
That's
at
what I would
cute
do.
little tassel.
I know, I was gonna say, look how festive it is. And the red is a nice, like, wine red. Love this. Oh my God, really good ideas, guys. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag all these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even just scan the QR code on screen right now because we are so tech savvy, or visit morningsave.com on your smartphone. Again, thank you, Steph. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
In 1981, John Hinckley Jr. attempted to assassinate President Ronald Reagan, shooting him and 3 other people. A jury found Hinckley not guilty of attempted murder by reason of insanity. He was then held in a psychiatric facility until 2016. Now, some viral social media posts and headlines say he's going to perform a concert in New York this summer and that it's already sold out. So is that true? Let's verify. Is Ronald Reagan shooter performing a sold-out concert in New York this year? To find out, we went to these sources. The most recent court order in Hinckley's case, social media posts from a New York venue and a New York promoting company, and the ticket-selling websites Venue Pilot and TicketWeb. Hinckley was released from St. Elizabeth's Hospital in D.C. in 2016. The release order came with a list of strict conditions that have been gradually lifted over the last several years. For example, in 2020, Hinckley was given permission to release music and art under his own name, something he had wanted to do for years. And then, last September, a judge issued an order to lift all remaining restrictions on Hinckley, saying his mental state was stable and he no longer posed a threat. That unconditional release order goes into effect on June 15, 2022. A few weeks ago, New York promotions company Scenic Presents announced on Twitter that on July 8th, Hinckley will be performing his music at the Market Hotel venue in Brooklyn. The post includes a link to a ticket website frequently used by that venue. Clicking on the link informs you the show has already sold out. The venue has also posted about Hinckley's concert on Twitter, often in response to critics questioning its decision to host him. One post reads, "It was a booking decision because it's an intriguing event that forces the very discussion about justice and mental health we're having. Hinckley playing acoustic guitar on a stage does actual harm to no one." A search of another ticket site used by the promotions company also shows the concert with the same details and also lists it as sold out. So we can verify, yes, John Hinckley Jr., Ronald Reagan shooter, is performing a sold-out concert in New York this year. The venue and the promotions company didn't respond to our requests for comment. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
A new report from the American Lung Association says despite decades of progress in making our air cleaner, more than 137 million people live in places with failing grades for unhealthy levels of pollution. That's 2 million more people breathing unhealthy air compared to last year. When it comes to living with poor air quality, not everyone is treated equally. Researchers found people of color are 3 times more likely than white people to live in a county with high air pollution. But there's actually some encouraging news here in Hampton Roads. When it comes to high ozone pollution, which can inflame your airways and cause coughing and sore throats, Norfolk and Virginia Beach were rated as some of the cleanest cities. Our area also got top marks for short-term particle pollution, which can cause a whole host of health problems from decreased lung function to heart attacks. While our area came away with a relatively clean bill of health, it's still clear there's a lot of work left to be done to make sure everyone can enjoy the same fresh air.
Well, that was a really great show.
I loved it.
Wow,
Yeah.
star-studded. If you're in Denver, make sure to see John tonight, John Lovitz at Comedy Works. Bye, guys. Have a good day.